Hello and welcome back to The Movies Made Us Do It. Me and Matt are back. How are you, Matt?
I am pretty good, sir. How are you?
Uh, I'm okay. Um, a little annoyed. Um, I'm a little annoyed because we did an episode last week, our
We
Christmas
did.
Christmas episode, and the producer of this show, fucking idiot that he is, he put a trailer on there like we always do. We put the trailers on there.
Yeah.
That fucking idiot forgot to mute the trailer. So the trailer was
Oh,
playing at full volume the whole way through the fucking entire episode. So yeah, our producer ruined the whole episode. And I would sack him, but it's me.
yeah. I was just going to say that. I mean, you could sack him. That would be
But then
unfortunate for
I would
me.
just be you in charge. So yes,
And I
sorry
can't do
about
any
that.
of that stuff. So
No, so sorry about that. I completely fucked that up. That's the problem with being like super tired and just going like, "Oh yeah, it's fine. Let's go now." Right? Oh fuck. Oh. I really liked that episode as well. Not to rub it in now that people can't hear that episode. I really liked that episode. And then the next morning I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be great." And then I just put it press play. And I was like, "Oh, god damn it." But anyway, we're here to
is,
talk
it,
about
is that it? Is there nothing you can do with it?
No, because it's over all of the audio from
Oh,
from the start to the end.
God.
Next year, maybe we'll do that film again.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway,
Well, it just from my perspective, it's just added to the year. It's fine. It's been a shit year
yes,
overall.
it's been a shit year overall, and we'll just add it to that. Hope you all had a great Christmas. The
Yes.
episode before, Matt said Merry Christmas, and I thought it was premature, but since I fucked up the Christmas episode, hope you had a good Christmas.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're here to talk about new movies today.
Yeah.
Do you want to kick us off?
Should we start with Running Man then?
Sure. Let's start with The Running Man. The new Running Man.
Yeah.
From Edgar Wright. Obviously, Stephen King's book. Never read it. Have you read the book?
I have not.
Okay,
I,
yeah, so you're the same as me. I've
looked,
never read it.
I looked up the ending just to make
Okay.
sure what the ending was like to compare, but
Because
yeah,
I understand the Schwarzenegger movie is nothing like the book.
no, not at all, not remotely,
which
really.
which doesn't surprise me because that movie had no dialogue. It just had people shouting one-liners at each other. I love, for full disclosure, I love the original Running Man.
Me
It's
too.
not a good movie, but I love it.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, it's a ridiculously amazing, entertaining movie.
yeah, I saw an interview with Schwarzenegger. He was talking to Edgar Wright and Glenn Powell
Mm.
about his Running Man. And he said, of all of my movies that I felt needed a remake, that was probably the one that should be remade. And I thought about it and I was like, he's probably right,
Yeah,
as
I mean, if
much
you
as
were
I do love that movie,
if you're a lover of the book, then definitely.
Mm. So here we've got Edgar Wright's version, which I gather is probably closer to the book, I assume.
Hmm. Yeah, there's a lot
Um,
from what I've seen. There's a lot of more similarities. There's a lot more faithful in parts,
mm,
anyway.
yeah. So effectively, we're kind of shown this dystopian future, where people are very impoverished.
Yeah, 2026.
2026, yes, it's this year, or next year. Sorry, just about for one more day. It's next year.
Is the Running Man like 2010 or something? The original movie.
Something like that. But that was set in the 80s. That was in the 80s, right? So it
Yeah.
was a long way away. But effectively, it's a dystopia run by corporations. It's almost cyberpunky in that respect. And people kind of live in you're either the 1% or you're very, very poor is what I gather from this film.
Yeah.
And we're introduced to Glenn Powell's character, who effectively he's a bit of an asshole at his job. He
Yeah.
kind of has an argument with his boss, loses his job as a result. So kind of right off the bat, you're shown that he's hot tempered and he's not willing to kind of take shit from anyone.
Yeah,
Which
he's got fucking serious anger management issues. Is what he's got.
serious anger management issues, which makes him good for TV, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like all of those reality shows, they always pick personalities that'll, you know, in real
Yeah,
life. I mean,
dickheads usually.
dickheads who are going to hate other dickheads, and that's
Yeah,
the whole show, right? And here his character is very much like that, but he does have a daughter and a wife or girlfriend, I think wife.
that's his wife.
Yeah. Um, and oh yeah, he is playing Ben Richards in this. I was just thinking, like,
Yeah,
is his name Ben Richards in this as well as in the original? Yeah, so it is Ben Richards.
yeah. I think
And
almost all the names are the same. They've got the
hmm,
same sort of names,
yeah,
maybe not the same
yeah,
sort of characters, but
Killian, yeah, because Josh Brolin was Killian.
yeah,
But yeah, so basically, it turns out his daughter is ill with some kind of disease or infection that will kill her. Basically, it's gonna kill her without the money for the drugs. They need
yeah,
drugs for her. I gather it's something relatively curable, but they need the
yeah.
drugs.
It's like flu,
So
I think, isn't it? Isn't it
yeah,
just the flu?
it's nothing big. I don't think it's just that
Yeah,
they just don't have any money for
yeah.
medicine. So he kind of broaches the idea of doing something rash.
Yeah,
And
well,
his
they've
wife
got
is like, "Do not fucking do anything like that. Go and
there's
beg for your job
there's
back."
there's the Running Man, but there's also a number of other game shows that they show you with, like the
Yes.
fat dude on the wheel asking questions and stuff and answering questions. I mean,
Hmm.
and they've obviously got a number of sort of like less
Lesser shows, but the Running
lethal.
Man is the worst of
Yeah,
them. Yeah.
yeah. Running Man offers the most money, but it's pretty much 100% lethal.
It's a death wish. Yeah, it is a death wish. But so he tries to get his job back. He tries to do whatever he can. Ultimately, though, against his wife's wishes, he enters into the Running Man, run by Josh Brolin's character, who's playing Killian in this one. Um, who basically sees him as like, you know, because when he's queuing, they're kind of watching everything with cameras, and while he's queuing, he stands up for this guy, and he does a
Yeah,
few
guy
things that they're
keels
kind of
over
like,
and he helps him, doesn't he? And they force him
yeah,
back
but
in
then the
line.
guards are like trying to, you know, kick
Yeah, they try to
the
force
guy
him back in
who's,
line.
yeah, it's like, don't care if you're dying, get back in line. And then, you know, he's kind of sticking up for the guy and then sticking up for himself. And obviously Killian sees that, and through there's like a big application process of desperate people looking desperately to get some money.
Yeah.
Um, he ultimately, him and two others, succeed. And it's made
I mean,
pretty clear early
the
on.
other two is the other two. You sort of go, did they succeed? I mean, they did, but
Yes, they
clearly they
succeeded.
didn't.
They do make a point in the movie of saying that every one of these shows has uh the shit characters, and then you've
Yeah,
got the final character who's the one that's going to go the furthest. And
yeah,
they always knew that Ben Richards was that guy. The other two are kind of fodder,
yeah.
you know, just there
The
for,
first one's the idiot that doesn't shut up, and the second one's the one that
it's too cocky.
goes overboard and
Yeah.
makes a fool of themselves, and then just lets themselves through stupidity get caught, basically.
Yeah, Kids with Flamethrowers was funny though.
Yeah,
It
yeah. The
did
kids
make
were
me laugh. So he's in the Running Man, and in this one, unlike the original movie, presumably more like the book, it's not
yeah,
in like a game show studio. It's out in the world, and
yeah,
basically he's put out in the world with a bounty on his head, with hunters after him. And the longer he stays alive, the more money he gets.
yeah,
If he kills hunters, he gets more money.
yep,
And so basically it's a film about him trying to last as long as he can. I think
yeah.
there is a period of time after which you've just won. Um
Yes,
but
30. So you've got to stay. You've got to stay
30 days,
free
that's
for
right, isn't
30
it?
days. Yeah, for
Uh
30 days. And basically, there were bonuses for like certain marks of weeks and stuff. And
yes.
if the only stipulation is that he has to make, is it
A
a
video.
video a day, a video a day otherwise he doesn't. His family won't get paid.
Which I liked. He was quite smart with that as well. When he was like,
Yeah,
I want a white background. I can't have anything in the background. I can't show anything of where I am, what I'm
yeah.
doing. So effectively, that's your setup for the movie. He goes on the run. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, actually. I was pleasantly surprised. And despite what I'd heard going into this movie,
Mm.
I did feel like it felt like an Edgar Wright movie to me. Like it wasn't an Edgar Wright original movie. It's an adaptation, but
Yeah.
it did feel like an Edgar Wright movie
So
in his
I
direction.
think music-wise, definitely the way he uses music was
Yes.
like very Edgar Wright. Some of the dialogue scenes
Mm,
were like, oh, that's just Edgar Wright. There's a
sure. And
particular
some of the shots as well. So the way he kind of
yeah.
like snap zooms,
Well,
pans, and
there
you
was
know all of that
a
kind of
good
stuff.
one with in the near the beginning when he's doing the training and they're switching between what he did on his job, so that you see that
That's
like
right. Yeah, that's
he's
very
running
Edgar
across
Wright.
a load of beams, and then
Yep.
it swaps to him in a job where he was like on like a skyscraper or something, running across like
Yes.
construction beams and stuff.
Mhm.
And then he was like saving a guy on the wall because he basically did that when he was on a rig, like in the middle of the water ocean or something. So you get that those scenes were very well done. They felt very Edgar Wrighty.
Yes.
But overall, it didn't. I don't think. I think it
See,
felt
it
to me
did for
like
me.
I felt like it felt very much like it'd been played with. Like he didn't have full
Hmm.
control. But that's
Interesting.
not to say that it's a bad movie because I did enjoy it.
Oh, I'm not. Sorry. I'm not. I'm not making out that this is like film of the year material or a
No,
masterpiece, but I had a lot of fun. I laughed a
I
few
did.
times. For what it was, I think it's objectively a better movie than the original. Though I
Really,
love the
I
original.
don't.
Yes,
I don't. I actually think the original's better, and I'll tell you why.
I love the original. Don't get me wrong, but the original is proper naff. Like
The
it is.
it is proper naff, but the original does a number of things that this one doesn't do. For a
It's more
start,
satirical. The original.
yeah, the character of Killian in the original,
Oh God,
you
he's
get
much
to
better.
follow him around. You get to
And
see
he's
how much of a cunt he is
he's
just in his
so
normal life.
unlikable. Yeah.
Yeah, you get a real feel for that character because he's truly, truly awful. You don't get a feel for Josh Brolin. He's just a corporate.
No, he's
He's
just a
just a corporate
corporate
asshole.
guy. Yeah, I
So you don't get
agree.
anything like that. And also, it's the same for the hunters. You got no feel for those hunters.
Yeah, there's
Poor Lee
there is
Pace,
no there is no
who's
Sub
running
Zero.
around. Yeah, poor Lee
Yeah.
Pace, who's running around with a fucking face mask on for the majority of the movie,
Yep.
has no personality. You get no sort of. Whereas, I mean, okay, now the original has got ridiculous personalities in there in
And that's
Sub-Zero,
why I love it. That
and
is
that is
why I love it.
exactly. It's really well done. The hunters here are just dudes that are bland as
Yeah.
fuck. They have
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
and that
Well, I
it
assume that was the point, but yeah,
yeah, but wouldn't it have been
it's a very different
even
take.
you don't need to make them like in the original
Camp.
movie,
Yeah.
but you can give them fucking life. You can make them
Sure.
a little bit more sort of
Yeah, I
less
think it's
bland. They were just very bland, and they had no personalities. They had no sort of, you know.
that didn't bother me whatsoever. I'll be honest. Uh,
I
I
just thought
I
it was a bit because he's great. Glenn Powell's great, but half of the
well,
time he's got nothing
and
to
that's
bounce back on.
well, that's exactly what I was going to say. I think the entire focus of the movie was clearly on Glenn Powell's Ben
Hmm.
Richards and not on anyone else.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I really didn't mind it. I think it's a very different take, clearly. But I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with it.
yeah. I
But no, I
mean,
agree. Killian's certainly better in the original. And I do love the camp, hunters of the original.
yeah, they're great.
Jesse Ventura in anything is entertaining to me. So,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
Buzzsaw and the one-liners. I mean, Christ, the one-liners in the original are legendary.
yeah.
Like I said, there's not really dialogue in the original. It is just one-liners the whole time. It's great. But I did very much enjoy this take on it. I thought it was good fun. It's well directed, I thought, for the most part. I think
Yeah,
Glenn Powell's really good as a leading man. Actually, I think he really
I
is
I think some
capable.
of the fights were too close, and you couldn't see what was going on properly, which
I
I thought was
agree.
disappointing.
Yeah,
Because I know
I agree.
Edgar Wright can direct, you know,
Hmm.
fight scenes. We've seen them. The World Ends has got some great fight scenes in it.
I thought it was
Um,
hit and miss. I thought sometimes it was okay and sometimes it was too close. But yeah, I
yeah,
agree. Some of those fight scenes were definitely too close.
mhm.
There was the bit at the end with the random girl as well. I was a bit
Yeah.
like, why?
Again,
Like, why?
it felt like we were supposed to feel something for this
Yeah,
girl.
but it was way too late. It
Yeah,
was like she should have been in it
it's
from
like
like maybe the second act, but it was like
because
10 minutes towards the end.
yeah,
You're like,
she's
why? Why?
basically the girl that he sort of kidnaps in the original movie,
But
isn't
she's
she?
in it from the start in the original.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
she's the reason he gets arrested in the original, isn't she? If I
Again,
remember
she
rightly.
gets a character, and you're with her when she finds out that he's
Hmm.
telling the truth and that he's not full of shit.
Yeah, it makes way more sense in the original for
With
sure.
her, she's like in the car with him for 5 minutes, and she's like
Yeah,
questioning things. It's like, okay, fine, but we don't.
but
I don't care about this woman.
that
This
should have
this
been in Act One,
Yep.
or Act Two at the
Well,
latest.
almost any even halfway through would have been nice. She didn't come in
Yeah,
until the last 10-20 minutes.
the movie was wrapping up when she turned up.
Yeah.
Um, and it felt like the only reason she was there was it was given the excuse to get him through the checkpoint. But
Hmm?
and I thought that's all it was that she was just going to have that little moment and they get through the checkpoint and that'd be it. And then it kind of kept going. And I was like, this is weird. Like, why are we following this woman now? Like, there's a random
Yeah.
woman. But
Yeah. It was.
that
That,
was the
I mean,
biggest head scratcher for me.
and I think that's one of the reasons why this movie fails,
Mm.
because of it just doesn't give any of the characters time to be characters. It
Apart
just
from
just
Ben
sort of
Richards.
crams them in. Apart from Richards, it just crams them in, and even the wife didn't really have much of a personality.
No, she was just purely there to be like, don't
We
go
could
on the
have had
running,
some
man.
maybe a bit more scenes with her at the beginning to sort of give us a reason to give a fuck. You know what I mean? It's like
Mm.
the whole sort of he's got a sick kid. Well, yeah, that gives you sympathy. Obviously, that's the whole thing. Oh, it's a sick kid, so you've got to have sympathy for the sick kid. But you still have to give them life for us to give a shit. And
Mm.
I think this movie fails at giving life to its characters other than Richards.
No, I'd agree with that. I think that's a fair assessment. But yeah, like I
And
said, I had quite a
it
good
did
time with
feel
it.
slightly too long as well. There was by the time we get
Uh,
to the last bit on the plane and that, it's like, okay, can this be over now? This is
sure.
well for me
Yeah.
anyway. I felt it was
Mm.
dragging by then, and I can't. And I know I'm being very down on it, but I
No,
did
no, I
enjoy
don't
it
think you are.
overall.
I can tell. Yeah, you're not.
Yeah, I did enjoy
I
it
can tell you
overall.
enjoyed it. Yeah.
And I would recommend it as a fun movie.
Oh, for
I
sure.
mean,
It's
Power
another
Alone
one
I
of
would say
those. It's
give
another
it
one
a
of
go.
those movies I won't watch again.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
most of these movies. I'm like, oh, it's fine. I had fun, but I don't know that
Yeah,
I'd pick it up again to watch. But I did enjoy it for what it was.
it had.
Um,
I was really happy to see oh my word! Now I'm gonna forget her bloody name. Now I'm gonna mention her. Um, she played the grandma. No, not grandmother. She was his mother, wasn't she?
I do not remember.
She was the original Sandra Dickinson. So
Oh,
Sandra
okay.
Dickinson, she was the original Trillium in
Yes.
Hitchhiker's TV series, and I was really happy when she turned. I was like, hey, which proved to me that and a lot of the background people were like, hey, those people are English. This must have been filmed in England, and yes, it
Yeah.
was. Um,
They did put Schwarzenegger on the dollar
on the
bill.
money, that was funny,
That was funny.
and I know they had a lot of references to other King
Oh
novels,
yeah,
like
of course.
there was it Backman Street or something, or Backman's, and there were things like that that were sort of in the background, which was all quite nice. I quite liked all those sorts of things. But yeah,
Yeah.
overall it was a very enjoyable movie.
Hmm.
Um, I not a patch on the original. I'm sorry. Even it's
I
batshit
just
is that
think
movie
they're just
but fun.
completely different movies. Like
Yeah.
I just in my brain I struggle to compare them at all, if I'm
Well, put it
honest.
this way, I would quite happily sit and watch the original Running Man
Oh
now.
no, 100%. I rewatched The Running Man, in fact, probably a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but that's, I love that movie in all of its silliness, you know. And again, it is one of those like good bad movies that I really
Hmm.
enjoy. I really enjoy rewatching. So yeah, I wouldn't rewatch this, but I do think it was, I thought it was a decent movie,
Yeah.
for what it was.
Yeah, and it's I would say it's Edgar Wright light. It's
I
has
agree
it
with that.
has
I
it has
do think it feels like his direction, but
yeah, it has some of his flair, but
mm,
not enough. It certainly felt
sure.
to me like it had been interfered with.
Yeah, I didn't get that, but yeah, fair enough. I did enjoy it though.
Yeah.
Um, well, do you wanna give us another movie?
Yeah, so I also saw Good Boy.
Good boy. Yeah. I've been told the dog's all right, which was convincing because I don't
Apparently,
like, you
when
know.
when the trailer came out, the website Does the Dog Die had a massive spike
Yeah, of
when this
course,
when this when the trailer came out for this.
doing God's work over there. Oh man, I feel like this film will stress me out.
Yeah, so it's directed by Ben Leonberg, which I think this is his first sort of proper movie. He's done lots of shorts and things,
Hmm.
and it's his
Wow,
own
it's
dog.
funny you should say that because when I watched the trailer for this, I was like, that would make a very good short. I'm not sure it would make a very good feature length movie.
Yeah,
So I'm
I mean
curious how it stacks up.
this
But
isn't a very long movie either. It's only
oh,
what
good.
is it?
It shouldn't be because I don't think you can make it very long.
It's 1 hour 12 minutes. It's a very
Oh, good.
short movie.
That's perfect. That
So
that
it's
makes a
like
lot of sense. Yeah.
it's a on the slightly longer end of short film, really. So yeah, it's the dog is Indy. That's his real name. He is
Oh,
the director's real dog. And
they
it took
named the dog Indiana.
exactly. Well, there is a thing about that, and you actually do see
Oh,
there's
excellent.
a clip of it of Indiana Jones on the TV at one point.
Oh, nice.
Um, so it's I think it took 4 years to make. So yeah, they spent a lot of time on this, and so we're basically introduced to Todd, who is I thought it was cancer, but it's not. When looked it up, he's got some sort of lung disease that
Right.
basically killing him, and he and his dog Indy are going to go and live in his grandpa's house. So he's got a sister called Vera who basically found him in the beginning of the movie. He's sort of unconscious and bleeding, and ob- all the movie you're seeing from the dog's point of view, really.
Yes. Yeah.
So that you don't really see faces at all. You just sort of see,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the
It's like
people mostly from the ground up. You don't sort of see their heads and things very often.
sure. It's like Tom and
Uh,
Jerry kind of deal.
yeah, yeah, that
Yeah.
sort of the feel. So he's very ill, and his sister finds him, and he decides he's going to go and uh, without telling his sister, he just goes to this his grandpa's house in the middle of nowhere, and um, the sister thinks that the house is haunted because their grandpa apparently went mad there and died there, and she's very worried about him. But he's a bit belligerent and a bit sort of angry, and
Mm.
you know he just he's fine. I mean, the house is a bit of a shithole. It looks like it needs renovation. It's got a generator. There's a bad smells in the cellar and all that sort of good stuff. And the dog sees shadows sort of in at the corner of his eye sort of thing. When the when he first has his sort of initial coughing fit and sort of illness at the beginning, there's a sort of a shadowy figure in the corner, and the dog's just basically looking at it.
Right.
And you're not first of all, you're not sure whether it's there or not, but the dog sees it. So that's kind of what it is throughout the movie. It's something in the sort of the cellar that is like a malevolent presence, Or
Mm.
is the thing is that this could also be just the way the dog interprets illness?
Yeah, so are you? Do we see things from the dog's perspective as well, like dog
Yeah.
vision? Or right? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of, pretty much, yeah. You get this sort of feeling that you get certain scenes where which are straight from the dog's view, and
Hmm.
but mostly you're just sort of with the dog. Um, and there are times where obviously the illness is taking over the guy, and he's being annoyed by the dog's presence, and he's pushing him away, and it's
Sure.
he's sort of he hits him at one point and stuff, and it again you could interpret it as that's just the way the dog is experiencing what's going on. It doesn't really there's nothing there,
Mm.
or there is evidence that there is definitely fucking something there. So it's I think
Sure.
it can be a bit into interpretation. My wife, for instance, thought there was nothing there. I think there was something there.
Okay.
Um, so
But it's nice to not spell that out, I think.
yeah, I think it leans more into the other, but was not convinced. You've got a little sort of Larry Fazenden is plays the grandpa. You only ever see him on the sort of screen, or you see him in dream sequences. So you do see the dog dreams about the previous dog, the grandpa's dog, Bandit, um, who seems to have had a similar experience with grandpa that he's having in that the
Right.
grandpa was losing it and he was ill as well, and it could just be that there's a family illness that because there's a bit where they're walking on the property and they're walking through a graveyard, and the guy says to the dog, "Oh, all these here, this is all my family, and they pretty much all died young."
Right.
So that does feel very much like, well, it could be just that they've all got really bad genes and they all die from illness when they're young,
Mm.
or there is something that kills them. Um, I really like this movie. It's really interesting. I like the whole concept of the from the dog's perspective, and the dog is just fucking adorable. Indy is amazing. The obviously they spent 4 years getting the performances out of him and training him. So you know clearly some of the expressions and some of the things is like are not natural, but it works amazingly well for this movie.
Yeah.
Um, I'm glad it was short because it's
Me too.
definitely
I don't think
it,
it would have worked as a
it
feature length. That was my biggest
yeah.
worry.
And even then, there are bits where it feels slightly sort of not incoherent, but sort of a bit sort of this needed to stitch together a little better. Now, I think
Sure.
you could say that that was intentional, that it adds to the whole uncertainty of the movie,
Hmm.
but it feels very much like it wasn't planned. So there are times where it feels like it could have flowed a little nicer, and it could have sort of sometimes it's a bit too jerky in its sort of pacing and what happens. But there are some absolutely lovely sort of scenes of the sort of the dog sort of walking around and staring at nothing seemingly, or
Which dogs do.
yeah, there's dogs
You know,
and
they
cats
do that. Yeah, and cats
and
do as well. Yeah.
yeah, and there's a running theme of sort of this the guy's he's watching sort of old sort of documentaries and old movies, and the movies and stuff are all sort of bleed into sort of the ideas of what's going on. He's watching a sort of a movie at the beginning of, and there's like a for centuries dogs and things have been with man and they see other things and all that. So
Uh
you
huh.
get this sort of constant sort of reminder that
Yeah.
this, dogs can see things, or can they? I I really enjoyed the movie.
Mm.
I think I bought into the hype too much.
Okay.
because I was hearing such good things about it, and I was like, "Oh, this it's going to be great. This is going to be an amazing movie." And I got, and I think I sort of sat there and thought, "Oh, this is just not as good as I wanted it to be." So I think it does
Sure.
suffer from my expectations. But that's not to say it's not an enjoyable movie, because it is an enjoyable movie.
Hmm.
Um, but I just felt that there were times where it needed to flow better, and it needed to sort of have this just a sort of a story that went a little clearer with what it was trying to do. Um,
Hmm.
but overall, I would still say, go for it, because it's nice just for the dog's performance. Really, it's a great little performance. I'd be interested to see what the director does next, to see whether it's not a sort of one of those one-off fluke type things, to see if
Yeah.
he could pull off something better, more accomplished next time. But as a sort of a first proper film, I think it's pretty good. It's got some really nice atmospheric scenes. There's some the the would-be creature.
Hmm.
Uh, what you see of it is quite cool. It's got this sort of presence, and I do like some of the scenes that will that make you question whether or not it's real, are quite well done. Overall, there's
Hmm.
some nice scenes where you're like, "Oh, that's very cool done." I try not to spoil anything really, but there's a scene where they sort of merge at one point, as it were, and
Right.
it could be, again, it could be interpreted as it's taking over him, or it could just be the dog's
The dog's
interpreting.
way of processing what's going
Yeah,
on. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's really fun, and it's really, for the most part, well done. So I would highly recommend it as a nice little sort of,
Hmm.
it's short enough that it's not going to make you go, "Oh well, I wasted my time."
Well, I'm glad because it being feature length was what worried me when I saw the trailer.
Yeah,
Because I thought if this was a 30-minute short, perfect. But as a 1.5 2 hour movie,
yeah.
so
If
an
it
hour
was,
and a bit that works. That totally works for
if
me.
it was going to be longer, it really needed to sort of flesh out the story more, and
Yeah, and
I
I think
guess,
there's only so far you could go with
yeah.
that kind of setup. I think.
I know a lot
With
of people have said that it felt like Courage the Cowardly Dog, which I thought was quite
okay,
funny. Which I
sure.
thought was quite funny. I think, yeah, I can see that. That makes sense. But yeah, I would recommend it. It is good. It's got some nice little scares in it, and it's a fun movie. Yeah,
Yeah, cool. Well, I will almost certainly check that out now because yeah, I think that sounds like fun, and I do know the dog's okay, which is the main
yes,
thing.
yeah.
Fine with humans dying, but not the dogs, not the animals.
Yeah.
Good lord.
I mean,
Uh,
yeah. I mean, there is something else that happens in that movie that you okay, but yeah, the Indy's fine.
right. All right. Other animals are not, but he
Hmm.
is. Fair enough. Well, I watched Relay, by David Mackenzie, starring Riz Ahmed, Lily Jones, and Sam Worthington. This is a Prime exclusive, maybe a Prime movie. I'm not quite sure, but it was advertised in their kind of Prime original movies
Yeah.
section. And it looked quite interesting. Thought I'd give it a go. It's effectively it kind of harkens back to those kind of old paranoia kind of thrillers um I used to quite enjoy as a kid, with a more modern twist. So effectively, Riz plays a character called Ash, though he doesn't necessarily go by that name. He goes by a different name, but he lives in New York City, and effectively he is a fixer, but
Right.
not in the I'm an assassin fixer kind of way. What he does is
Problem solver, sort of
sort
type
of,
fixer.
yeah. So there's you know, when people are whistleblowers for companies,
Yeah.
they find something terrible about the company and they leak those documents. Well,
Mhm.
effectively, what he does is when people have done their whistleblowing or have access to documents where they can do whistleblowing, and these companies are coming after them, he works as an intermediary. Basically,
Right.
he mediates the solution between the corporation and the person. And what he generally does, which we see at the start of the movie, he basically they get in too deep and they're like, God, I just want to get rid of these documents now. I don't want to die. I want to give it back to them and I just want to walk the fuck away. And so that's what he does at the start of the movie. We see him do this for this guy. He basically he keeps a copy for himself that he keeps forever, a hard copy, and he's always got that in case anything ever happens. But he basically gets the guy to meet with the corporation. They get a photo with the guy. He hands over the documents. They say, right, there's another copy if you ever go after this person again. And no one knows who Riz's character of Ash is. That he's complete ghost. None of the people that he works for have ever seen him or see his face.
Right.
And what he does, and this is apparently a real service. I had no idea this exists, although it makes perfect sense. To carry out his business, he works through this like telecommunication device for deaf people.
Oh, okay.
And it's a device that you basically type what you want to say, and then there's a relay service that will audibly speak to someone on the other end of the phone, and they'll explain you're talking to a deaf person. This is what the deaf person is saying.
Yeah.
You say what you want to say, then you say over, and then they'll send that message back to the deaf person and type the message back. Now, apparently, these relay things are completely obviously private. None of the calls are recorded. Nothing's ever kept. There's no trail of evidence in these conversations. So that's what he's using. So he uses that. There's no evidence then of who he is, where of any of the call, anything. So basically, every time he speaks to someone, he kind of uses that service. Enter Lily James' character. She has she worked for a biotech company, I think it was, and effectively she's found out that one of their most recent drugs is some of the tests came back as showing some pretty severe side effects, potentially even death, and that this company now has been awarded this huge contract, and effectively this is going to potentially harm a lot of people if it goes out to into the public. So she takes the documents, obviously to do the right thing, initially, but she's then harassed so much, like her car's set on fire, she's being watched constantly under constant surveillance, that she basically cracks and she goes to see her lawyer and she's like, look, this is what I did. I took these documents, and the lawyer's like, so you stole documents from your company? And she's like, well, let's try and do the right thing. And the lawyer basically says, look, appreciate you were trying to do the right thing, but we can't do business with you. We don't really want to get involved in this with this huge company. But I can put you onto this relay service, and they can mediate a way out. So it's the lawyer that puts him onto Riz's character. And it goes from there. Sam Worthington is plays this character who's part of a team that's brought in by the biotech company to effectively surveil her and pressure her into giving the documents back and presumably silencing her forever. So it's kind of a cat and mouse game. It's a lot of paranoia as she's kind of being followed constantly by them. Riz's character trying to hide from them whilst they're trying to resolve the issue. They're trying to, because they can't meet, they're trying to work out how she can get a copy of the documents to Ash without them getting involved and finding the documents, and so there's a lot of cat and mouse stuff, a lot of like, oh, get this flight here and then another flight here and then use this postbox inside the terminal, and then send 2 copies, one to there here, one to there, and it's interesting. It's one of those movies where I can't really explain too much because it would ruin the fun of the movie. There are twists and turns in the movie that if you knew, it would just ruin the movie. But for a first time watch, I pretty much thoroughly enjoyed it. That with some caveats. I think the acting's fine. I thought the tension was great. I quite like these kind of everybody's watching us movies. But I will say the final act, not terrible, but it's a little ludicrous. It gets a little too like it's very it feels very grounded, and then towards the end you're like, oh, it's still fine, but it's a bit like okay. And also there is, in my opinion, quite a contrivance towards the end. How can I say this without spoiling anything? Okay, yeah. So they show at the start of the movie that Riz is a recovering alcoholic.
Right.
So he goes to Alcoholics Anonymous. Someone in that group ends up being like a key person later on just by happenstance.
Okay.
And that was a bit like, really? Like, okay, really? So little things like that kind of ruin what would otherwise be a very solid like kind of paranoia thriller. Really well acted, well directed. I really enjoyed it. Just the third act kind of has a few issues, but aside from that, it was very enjoyable. Really, really liked it.
Well, the director had previously done Hell or High Water.
Yes.
Which is an amazing film.
Yeah, I really liked this one.
Pretty much responsible for my changed opinion on what's his name? The guy who looks like a blow up doll. Chris Pine.
Oh, Chris Pine. Yeah, he does look like a blow up doll. You're right.
Yeah,
I know Chris Pine's fine in the right role. Yeah. He is actually not terrible. He just, he did a terrible Kirk, but that aside, he's all right. He's all right in some things.
Well, the thing about his Kirk is it feels very much like somebody said, "Hey, can you do an impression of William Shatner?" And they've gone, "Yeah." Go on then. There you go. Which they didn't need to do.
No, I mean,
have you seen who they've cast as Bones in Strange, whatever the fuck it's called, the stupid Star Trek?
I know it was a big name, and at the time I was like, okay, cool.
Thomas Jane.
Oh, that's right, Thomas Jane. Another man who's far too talented and ends up in garbage.
Yeah, I honestly don't know why he took that job. He's much better than that.
No.
They must have offered him shitloads of money.
Yeah,
because that's a cursed job. He should not take that.
It's got to be the final season. Isn't all of that coming to an end now anyway?
Fucking hope so. Yeah, it should be.
Because they've been bought out by another company, haven't they? Someone else owns the rights to Star Trek now, so I think this is the end. The end, and maybe a glimmer of hope on the horizon, but we shall see.
Yeah.
Anyway, Relay. I recommend giving it a watch. I thought it was
sounds
fun.
pretty good.
So, what else have you watched?
So, I have also seen. Where was it? The Ugly Stepsister.
The Ugly Stepsister.
So this is a. Oh, I've forgotten what country it comes from now. Is it Norwegian?
Oh, the names look.
I think it's
possibly Norwegian. It's hard to tell just from.
I'm pretty sure it's Norwegian.
Names. Yeah.
So basically, this takes the sort of basics of Cinderella, but we're actually following an ugly stepsister, not Cinderella.
Sure.
So at the very beginning of the movie, we are introduced to Elvira, who, with her mother and her sister, are just going to this massive chateau. Um, to for the mum is basically marrying this rich guy uh, who's already has a daughter. Obviously, the Cinderella sort of character who's actually called Agnes in this. And there's, they, they're quickly married. The priest's already there. They get married, and they're having this sort of the wedding feast.
Mm.
And the uh, the guy throws cake at Elvira in a very sort of weird. Sort of everybody at the
Okay.
table like looks at him. It's like okay, that was really weird. And then he keels over and dies.
Okay.
So from there, we discover that um, he actually had no money. She was marrying him for money. Um, only he didn't have any.
Right.
He's got this massive He's got this massive castle and lands. But then when the bailiffs turn up and say, "Hey, uh, we're
You
taking
owe
pretty much
us all of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're pretty
Yeah.
much taking everything away from you. You basically get the house, and that's it."
Right.
Now, Elvira is a sensitive young lady. She's not the most beautiful. She's compared to Agnes, let's say, she is,
I
not the
was gonna
most
say
beautiful.
she's Hollywood ugly, by which I mean she's very
Yeah,
attractive.
she's.
Yeah.
I would say she's not conventional looking. Let's put it that way. She's
Sure, sure, but she's not ugly, you know.
no, she's not hideous. But I mean, they do sort of, you know, they sort of stick her nose up a bit and they give her braces,
Sure.
and she's got
Yeah,
this
yeah.
unflattering hairdo, which is, in
Yeah.
Hollywood means she's hideous. Um, so obviously, she's not as good looking as
What was that
Agnes.
movie is it She's All That?
She's all that, yeah.
Yeah. And you're like, she's clearly gorgeous the whole
Yeah,
time.
Rachel
They
Lee
just
Cook is hideous.
they let her hair down and they're like, oh my gosh, she's
Yeah,
gorgeous. I'm like,
she's
really?
wearing glasses and she's in dungarees. She's
Yeah.
horrible. Um,
Hideous.
so she's a sensitive soul and she reads these poems. There's this book of poetry that she has,
Mm,
which was is the favorite poems of the prince,
right.
who lives sort of nearby. And basically, she sort of encounters this sort of prince on one point, and he sort of like him and his boozy mates make a joke about her and say hey, why don't we have sex with her? And he's like, I wouldn't touch her if she was the last woman on earth, sort of thing.
Wow.
So of course, and initially she's sort of like a bit horrified and stuff, but basically the mum decides that the king is gonna is announced this ball. So this he's inviting all the eligible young girls to come to this ball, and where he will pick a bride.
Sure.
So the mum decides her best thing for this is to get Elvira and uh, get her some help with some surgeries and get her braces removed and things like that. So she's taken to this. I think he's like a French surgeon who basically chisels her nose and throughout the course of the movie does a number of other sort of like horrible surgery things, which are
Right.
quite really well done and really gross. My wife had to turn away a number of times, which is always a good sign with a movie. Um, so she's getting this sort of these treatments, and she's told she the mother's getting in more and more debt and owing more and more favors, trying to get her daughter to be the perfect woman. And she's sent to a finishing school where the woman who runs the school says, oh, I was like you when I was young, and I sorted myself out, and here, take this will help you. And she gives her a tapeworm egg to
Right.
help with her, because she loves cake and she likes eating cake, and obviously she's not, she needs to lose weight, so she gives her a tapeworm.
Sure.
So you get lots of sort of gross body horror and unpleasant things. And Cinderella is sort of, well, I keep calling her Cinderella. She's not Cinderella, but she is Cinderella. The Cinderella stand-in ends up having relations with the stable boy. So the mother banishes her to the sort of, you know, the kitchens and makes her work sort of thing because she's horrified by her lewdness, let's say.
Mm.
So from there we get this whole sort of thing where you get there's a younger sister who is clearly clever, and she's horrified by what her sister is going through and what she's doing to herself, and she seems to be sort of, you know, her mother seems to ignore her. So for the most part, the sister seems to have this sort of, you know, this standby, this bystander position where she's just seeing all these horrible things going on, and she's kind of happy that she's not doesn't have to deal with anything, but she's becomes more devastated by her sister her sister's experiences. I won't give anything away, but this is really fucking good. It's really really horrible. It's not substance level horrible,
Sure.
um,
That's
but it's
quite a yeah.
yeah, it's getting compared to that because, you know, the whole movie is kind of what people what women put themselves through to,
There's
you know,
similar themes for sure in what you're
yeah,
saying.
beauty, you
Yeah.
know, bizarre beauty standards and um obsession and, you know,
Yeah.
things that if you give it a little thought, you just sort of go, maybe not, you know.
Yeah.
And the actress Leah Moren, who plays Elvira, she's so sweet. She has this, you know, she's clearly doing her best to sort of, you know, be good for her mother, and she just desperately wants this. You know, she reads these poems um from this prince, and there's a bit where she reads one of the poem, and there's something about a snake, and she turns to her sister and she says, "What do you think the snake represents?" And the sister just looks at her and goes, "His penis." So it's like the sister has clearly more of a clue what's going on than she does, but she's got such a, you know, she's so sweet and she's so sort of, oh, but by the end of it you're like, oh love, please stop, you know, this is just not helping you. And it's it's yeah, the scenes of surgery and things are really grim, and there's a one particular scene towards the end when it's all going a bit wrong. My wife was definitely like, "Okay, I might have to leave the room."
Did she stay?
She did stay, but she did look away, and she said, "Just tell me when I can look back." It's like, "Yeah, okay." So there's the how she ends up is really really thoroughly unpleasant and grim. But there's a lovely sort of um sisterly thing going through the movie, which are quite which I really enjoyed. As you know, with the younger sister sort of, and especially what happens. You know, I won't spoil it, but what happens at the end is there's some real sort of sweetness and tenderness that does occur in this movie, but it is
Good.
quite overshadowed by all the horror.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as you would expect.
Yeah, I highly recommend this. It is I'd say it's not as good as The Substance. I think The
Mm.
Substance is a better movie, but that's not, you know, not any to throw any
Not to
shade on these
take away
movies.
from this. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this movie all the performances are great. Especially at Leah Moran, she's wonderful, and you really do feel for her. You know, the more stupid shit that happens to her, the more you just go, oh come on, this is this is just please stop. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. This is it's beautifully directed. All the costumes are fantastic. Um, and yeah, it's a really nice sort of uh contemplation of just horrible the horrible things we do in the name of love or you know beauty. It's a really nice movie. I really enjoyed it. Thoroughly
Cool.
recommend.
Well, I will. I will definitely be checking that out. What else have you watched?
So on the same day we watched that, we also
Mm.
watched a film called Playdate.
I was about to say, I because we had a brief discussion before the show.
Yep.
I was about to say, can you please rage at me about Playdate? Because from what you
Right.
said, this is gonna be fun.
So we watched Ugly Stepsister. Well, we watched it Christmas Day actually. So we watched it Christmas Day, and we were already planning on watching Gremlins. So that was we were
As
planning on that.
as is tradition, yes.
Yeah. So we were planning on that, and my wife said, "Hey, can we just watch something after we'd watched the horror?" She said, "Can we watch sort of something sort of light?" And I went, "Okay. What do you have in mind?" And she said, "I want to watch Playdate." And I said, "You saw the trailer, didn't you?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Okay,
You did see the trailer, didn't you?
yeah." And usually my wife has a lower tolerance for cringe than I do, but I
No,
saw the trailer and was like, "Nope."
that's what
But
I did.
it was Christmas, and I love my wife, so I said, "Okay,
Yeah,
sure,
quite
let's
right
watch it."
too. You suffer, yeah.
So, so directed by Luke Greenfield. Um, no, what was it? There was something he previously did that was like, okay, that makes sense. Oh, he did The
Some
Animal
right. I have not seen that either.
and The Girl Next Door. The Girl Next Door is okay, but The Animal is fucking terrible. So we are introduced to Kevin James's Brian,
Mm,
who is who's a stepdad of Lucas, and he's doing his best to sort of toughen the boy up and show it,
sure,
make him into sports because that's what he knows, and he knows sports. And Sarah Chalk is his missus, the kid's mum, and the kid wants to do dancing and weird TikTok videos and all that sort of stuff, but he's he wants to do his best for his stepdad, so he's trying uh these sports things. And
hmm,
Kevin James is oh, there's a scene where with a load of kids where they're bullying him, and he comes in and it's like, hey, how about I start on you? And one of the kids gets up and was like, okay, let's go for it then. And of course, he immediately backpedals. He's like,
uh huh,
so he's a fucking wuss as well. Now, while they're out sort of tossing a football in the park sort of thing, they come across uh, Alan Richardson's Jeff and
yes,
CJ, and they are throwing the ball around as well, but they're like proper power throwing
sure,
this ball, at each other, like real, like real sort of huge He-Man throws and all that sort of stuff. And they sort of get into conversations. Hey, let's like play together. And of course, he's a bit like, oh, this is a bit weird. And then basically through a series of like, what? Okay, sure, we're going here now. They end up together in this thing, and it turns out that um, CJ is not his son. He's actually kidnapped this kid from a
right,
facility. Yeah, so he's not kidnapped him. He thinks he's rescued him. So Alan Richardson was this soldier who has a bit of a conscience sort of thing. So he refuses to do certain things, and his officer says at one point, "Hey, I'm going to spoil the shit out of this movie." So
Go ahead. I
his
have
officer
zero intention of ever watching this movie.
his officer says, "Hey, I wish I had more soldiers just like you." So turns out CJ's a clone of
Oh,
him.
okay, yeah, yeah, okay,
Right. So you find out later that he's not the only one. There are shitloads of these little bastards, and they're like souped up, supposedly non-feeling, automaton like clones.
mm-hmm.
They're super. They're kind of like little super soldiers with no emotions, right?
Right,
So then they're sort of going on the run, and um, Kevin James has got this sort of Amber Alert thing on him because he gets blamed as he's basically called a predator, and so they're after him as well, and they go on the run, and Alan Tudyk turns up as the guy who cloned them, and It's like
Yeah.
literally like he turns up and then he walks away, and you're like, well, that must have been a couple of hours payday for Alan Tudyk. And it's the same with Sarah Chalk. And Isla Fisher turns up as like the head of this sort of like mummy mafia. And again, she's in
Mm.
it for like 5 minutes, and then it's like, okay, nice payday for you. And you got Stephen Root who does the same. He's like Stephen Root's playing Alan Richardson's dad, who abandoned him when he was little, and all that sort of stuff. And it's basically just sort of them chasing around doing stupid shit and trying to rescue this kid. Um,
Hmm.
it is absolute dog shit.
Everything you've just said sounds terrible.
Oh, it's
Just,
so bad.
just like recounting the plot of this
Yeah.
movie.
Oh,
Um.
it's like Alan Richardson's like going, "Oh, hey, Brian. Hey, do you mind if I call you Bri Bri? Bri Bri sounds cool. You're
Oh.
Bri Bri from now on, okay, Bri Bri?" And you're like, "Oh God,
I was saying before we started the show that Alan Richardson,
yep,
he's fine in the roles that he's cast in generally,
yeah,
but he has very little range. And
hmm
as we said, that's not necessarily a bad thing. You can point to people like Bruce Willis and plenty of other actors that have just, basically one note their way through their career. And if they're
yeah,
cast in the right role, you want Bruce Willis, you cast a Bruce Willis, and that's great. And there's your Bruce
hmm
Willis. Um, and I feel the same with Alan Richardson. He's fine as Reacher, and he's fine in a number of roles I've seen him in, but he is generally always the same character, really,
yeah,
kind of. Um, and I it's really strange how, you know, in the 90s, or when Schwarzenegger and Stallone tried comedy, and
yeah.
it was like, oh god, this is rough. For the most part, some of it worked, but most of it failed miserably.
I
Um,
just you just got to think of "Stop or My Mum Will Shoot."
yeah, exactly.
No,
And weirdly, of all of them, Stallone's the one that kind of had some comedy chops to begin with. I
yeah,
mean, his Rocky was pretty funny in places,
yeah. What's
But
that one where he plays a cowboy? He's terrible in that as well.
oh Christ, yeah, what is the name of that movie? I can't
I don't
even
know what it's
remember.
called.
But anyway, it's interesting that was kind of like people saw that as a big kind of toward, they're like, oh, their careers are kind of failing, they've fallen into comedy, and
Yeah,
it's not worked.
yeah,
And it's weird that now action started doing it immediately. And as you said before the show, some people, like Dwayne Johnson, you're like, yeah, okay, he had a lot of comedy in wrestling, he can kind of pull it off, he's got a lot of
mm,
charisma. Alan Richardson, though, I mean,
no.
I guess he's playing the straight character here anyway, right? I'm
He is.
assuming.
He's playing straight. He's
Um,
he's playing the idiot sort of straight
the
man, but
idiot jock, yeah,
it not very well. It's
sure.
yeah, it's so painful. And Kevin
The
James is
trailer looked painful. I
Kevin
had no
James.
idea it was about clones, though. Like, you just
Yeah,
made it sound even worse now.
Kevin James is another one of those actors who does play a similar character as well. He plays the same sort of
Yeah,
useless slub an awful lot, but
100%.
he also was had really what was that movie that came out a couple of years ago? He was Becky. He is amazing as the bad guy in Becky. He's
Right.
really menacing, and he's terrifying as the sort of the Nazi guy in Becky. So he can actually pull off more when he tries. But here he's just this this feels very much like, oh yeah, okay, I'll just do this movie.
Well, I mean, again, going back to Sylvester Stallone, you know, Rocky,
Wasn't
First
he
Blood,
tricked into doing
Stop a Moment and Shoot.
Stuff
Yeah,
on My
by
Mother's Shoe?
Arnold. That's the
Yeah,
rumor, isn't it? That Arnold kind
yeah,
of tricked him into it. But you look at Stallone, and you look at like Rocky, First
yeah.
Blood Part 1,
Mhm.
um like a whole bunch of movies that he did, that he can really act when he
Yeah.
wants to. But then
Mhm.
he did Copland, probably
Yeah.
his best, probably one of his greatest performances, bombed.
Yep.
And then ever since then he was like, actually, do you know what, dumb action movies makes me more money, that's what I need
Yep.
to do. And that's kind
Yeah.
of what he did. and
Yeah.
and maybe that's what Kevin James has done here. He's like, well,
Yeah.
it makes me
True.
a lot more money if I just play this kind of character, so that's what I'll do.
Yep.
And it's a shame when you see someone that's really capable of
Yeah.
more, but they're just pigeonholed into those kind of roles, and that's what they do. But
Yeah. So you got this movie. does one of those those crimes that quite a lot of movies are guilty of, which weirdly, so in the right use, it's fine. So in a similar thing with Gremlins, actually. So it references other movies almost constantly.
Yep.
There
Don't
are
reference
so
better
many.
movies in your bad movie.
Yeah, exactly. There are so many times where they talk about other movies, or you see things from other movies, and there are all these like references, and you're like, please stop showing me things from other fucking movies that I could be watching.
Yeah, because
Please stop.
now
Because
I just want to watch that movie.
yeah, like
Yeah.
the Colonel's called Colonel Kurtz. He's
Right.
dressed like Rambo's office boss in the first movie. He's dressed
Trotman.
like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's dressed like him. There are like there's a T-Rex water cup scene, and you're like, please stop. Now, Gremlins references other movies a lot.
But
There's a lot of
Gremlins is a very good film.
exactly.
That's the
Gremlins is a good
difference.
movie. It doesn't need to rely on that. It's just
Yeah,
that it
absolutely.
shows you a few clips from other movies and has a few things that they say from other stuff. Never do I want to go. Oh, I'd rather be watching that movie in that movie. This one is constantly like, please just fucking stop. It is.
Mm.
Oh, it's so cringy. It's so bad, and it just has no redeeming qualities at all. It's it's like even you'd think even when they were trying to be funny or even
Mm.
accidentally they would be funny at some point. No, they're not. Even you do even in some of the worst comedies I've watched. There's at some point where I at least one joke where I go, oh, that was actually funny.
You
Okay,
usually get at least one chuckle in a
yeah,
even in a bad comedy, right? But
no, not in this one. It was so bad, and thankfully my wife was like, I'm really sorry, I chose that movie.
I
It's like,
chose
it's like,
poorly.
you really hate me now, don't you? I said, no, I still love you, but that was fucking awful. And I might have to think about your choosing privileges in the future.
On Christmas Day, particularly.
I
Yeah.
honestly, it's got so many good people in it, but
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, and they literally just turn up and then fuck off. So you're like Stephen Root, he's on screen for about I don't know 5 minutes, and it's enough for you to go, hey, Stephen Root. Okay, moving on. Hey, Alan Tudyk. Okay, moving on. And it's like, oh Christ, this is so bad. And even I mean, I've seen some ropey Kevin James movies, but this is the worst.
Mm.
It's just diabolical, and it certainly gets my vote for worst movie of the year. And
Wow.
I've seen War of the Worlds.
You've
I laughed more watching War of the Worlds than I laughed at this.
well, I was gonna say I feel like objectively War of the Worlds is almost certainly a worse film than this film,
Yeah,
but the entertainment value of that film being so bad
yep,
almost yes has clearly elevated it above this film
yeah.
because this is at least a film presumably. I mean, War of the Worlds was barely a film, but it
Yeah,
was fucking funny for
it was.
one
It was
time.
hilarious.
I never want to watch it again, but it was very funny the
God no.
first time. Yeah, fair enough. I will. I was going to avoid this one from the trailer alone, but I will definitely avoid it
This is fucking awful.
now. You got a couple more to go.
Yes, I have.
Would you
So
like to pick one?
let's go with Dracula, a love tale.
Yes, a love tale. I watched 20 minutes of this so far. I am going to finish it. To be
So this is
clear.
this is Luc Besson's baby.
And I love
Um,
Luc Besson, I really do. He's done some
well,
really great stuff.
do you know what's funny about this is if you read some of the stuff and see interviews about this movie,
Yeah.
um, he doesn't like horror movies. He
Uh,
doesn't really like Dracula.
See, this is another James Gunn moment. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Why then? Why?
So basically, so Caleb Landry Jones is playing Dracula in this. He
Yes.
previously worked with him on Dog Boy,
Uh-huh.
which I reviewed. Sorry,
Yeah.
Dog Man, which I reviewed
Hmm.
when that came out, and I think I think it made my top 5 that year.
Yes, I think so.
I really loved that movie. I think it's a great movie. He loved working with him, and basically he wanted to create a role for him.
Sure.
So he picked Dracula. He thought, hey, he could pull off Dracula,
He
which
wanted
he
to
sort of
create a role for him, and then he thought, actually, I can't really be bothered. What if I just pick one that already
yeah.
exists?
And you sort of think, okay, sure, you you could have done a bit more work, but fine. So he basically takes he thought, hey, the idea of the love story between them is what he wants is he liked the idea that Dracula is waiting 400 years for the reincarnation of his love.
Yeah.
So he's been cursed, you know, because of this, and
Uh-huh.
he is desperate to get his love back. And so
We're talking about this as if this is new.
yeah, well, I mean, I mean, he's fully leaning into the idea that it's a love story and not a horror movie.
Yes, I mean that. I've watched 20 minutes of this, and they made that abundantly clear in the opening of this movie. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. You get the opening. You get Dracula and Elizabetha having sex all over the place, being
They were just,
silly and
but not just having sex. They were just being like
silly.
obnoxiously, yeah, like insufferable is how I would. It wasn't.
Yeah,
It wasn't erotic or sexy in any way.
not
They were
really.
just
But it,
irritating.
but well, see, I didn't.
They were that like that awful fucking couple at a dinner. You know, they're just all
I
over
keep
each
our
other in a
hands off each other.
restaurant.
See,
Yeah.
I didn't find it as bad as you did, but it is a little nauseating.
When they
And of
started
course,
doing the pillow fighting, I was like, really fucking really okay.
it is like every cliche from one of those
Yeah, it
terrible.
was. It was like ticking the cliches off. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Pillow fights, throwing food at each other,
Yeah.
having sex in weird places,
Uh huh.
letting the servants watch them, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so he's there. His soldiers turn up. For the most part, the armor is pretty cool. It's directed by sorry, not directed. It was made by what's his name? Terry. He's a British armorer. He
Oh,
worked
okay.
he worked on the armor for Besson's Joan of Arc movie.
Oh, okay.
So it's the armor, even though it's not fucking period accurate because this movie doesn't want to be period accurate. This is a full on fantasy movie.
And that's fine if that's the way you want to go with it.
Yeah,
You know.
exactly. As long as you embrace that, then it's fine. Terry English is the guy's name.
Oh yeah,
Making
yeah, yeah.
the only the main problem was his helmet is fucking. It's like, what is that? Why have you done
Mm.
that? That's a terrible looking helmet. Anyway, so of course the Turks turn up. He's off to goes off to. He's dragged away from his love to fight the Turks.
Well, he
Um,
does have that. He does have that scene with the Pope. The Pope first,
yes, the Pope
bishop,
blesses him, and yeah,
and he's
yeah,
like, "Hey, can you make my wife not die, please?" And he's like,
yeah.
that sounds kind of blasphemous, there, fellow."
Make,
Um,
make sure, yeah. So
yeah,
she's being taken away for safety to another castle somewhere. Off she goes.
yes.
He goes to the sort of the battle. They set fire to the ground and then fight through the fire, which was like, but what's going on? What? Hey?
The reason for that is that he wanted to directly rip off the scene from Bram Stoker's Dracula. So
Yeah,
they just made it so that the sky was that color by setting things on fire. That's what I
yeah.
got from that scene. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's really weird. They pour all this oil, and you think, okay, they pour it in oil, right? You're going to set it on fire, right? Okay, and then they walk through it,
Yep.
and they're just fighting, and you're like, what the hell was the point of that?
It looks like Bram Stoker's Dracula. That's why.
So he wins the fight, yay! And then he's told, "Oh my god, the Turks have chased down your misses.
No, 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 not chased down. They're in the process of chasing her right now.
Exactly. So
maybe if you ride really quickly, you'll catch up with them.
The sense of distance in this movie is
all over
hilarious.
the place.
So he manages to catch up with them, even
somehow. For they're all riding at full speed.
Yeah, and for some reason they're going across a field full of bear traps.
Bear traps? Yeah, there's a lot of bear traps in this open field. Yeah,
and she gets brought down. The Turks basically getting to her. They're about to kill her. He turns up, sort of saves her. I mean, that bit was quite well done. I like the fall and stuff. That was quite cool.
And I did enjoy the guards kind of feeling their way with swords, slowly working their way towards it. That could have been a very tense scene if it was directed a little better.
Slightly better.
You know, like the intention there was actually quite interesting.
Yeah. So she's just about to get murdered, and he throws his sword, which goes through the Turk and pierces Elizabetha, killing her.
Yes.
Of course, he then goes to the bishop and says, "Fuck you, bring my wife back. God can do miracles."
And the bishop's like, "God said you killed her, so live with it, buddy."
Yeah, the God was like, "No, don't do that. I can't." So he is like, "Oh, okay, I renounce God. Fuck you all. I'm gonna be Dracula from now on." So then you get
and his men drag him away, but you never see.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, are they gonna try and kill him, or because he's like, you know, a blasphemous anti-Christian now?
No, he sort of wanders around a bit.
They just whatever.
Basically, you get these sort of you're then introduced to the Lucy character, who's was getting married to this English lord. They're in Paris, obviously, because it's Luc Besson. So they're in Paris.
400 years later. Yeah.
Yeah, 400 years later. So you're in the 1800s. You're in the nondescript 1800s, where
yes, the not 1800s.
It's about then, sort of 1800s, and this woman has been, she's gone mad, and she could cause a scandal for this. For the Queen herself has expressed an interest in the fate of this girl, so they've brought in Christoph Waltz's priest, who has had experiences with all these sorts of things, and he goes to see her, and it's like, oh yeah, she's a vampire, and but he says, oh, but they're okay, they can walk around during the day, but just direct sunlight hurts them, and he burns her, and you get all that sort of. He's the Van Helsing stand-in, even though he's never given a name. He's just called Priest in the credits.
Oh really? I did wonder if they were going to name him eventually.
Yeah, they don't name him. I mean, almost everybody in this has got different. I mean, the Elizabetha and Mina are the same. Harker's the same. Pretty much everybody else is somebody else.
Right.
For instance, one of the doctors is basically supposed to be Steward, but he's not. He's called something else. So it's like it's like they've taken Dracula and gone, we like vague bits about it. We'll just take those bits. All right, great, grand.
Oh. I fell asleep while watching Bram Stoker's Dracula once. I think I know the plot. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Basically that. So then we get Harker at Castle Dracula, and
that castle, by the way, comes out of fucking nowhere. Did you see that? That was like, wait a minute, because I thought there'd be like some grounds and like gates and an estate, but it's like it's like a path and then just castle.
It's like it's basically it's like, it feels like
it's like the end of the road is just a castle.
Yeah, well, it's like Castlevania. It just appeared there.
Yeah. Oh yes, it's very Castlevania. Yeah,
it goes where it wants to. So yeah, we get the incredibly old, weird looking.
But it's even more ludicrous than Bram Stoker's Dracula somehow.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
actually picked the thumbnail for this specifically.
Yeah,
and it's him looking.
Him with the hairdo.
bored as fuck in that hairdo. Yeah, he looks like he's rolling his eyes in that hairdo.
Yeah.
It's
The
kind of
makeup's
cool.
really good.
I mean, yeah, no, it is, but
And
but it is like this is
the
ridiculous.
costume in this movie is absolutely beautiful. I mean,
Uh-huh.
you get shown a number of sort of time periods, and some of the stuff's a bit anachronistic, but the time periods go all over, and you're like, okay, is this supposed to be then? Is that okay? Fine, whatever. Okay, so this is where it totally won me over and goes completely batshit.
Cool. Because
So
I
you
didn't.
didn't
This is where I
you didn't
stopped.
get to this
Well, no,
bit, right?
I will complete it. I will. I
So
will. I just yeah.
Harker basically asks him to tell him his life story, sort of thing, right? So he starts telling him his life story. He's going to drain him, right? The,
Yeah.
Dracula has little gargoyles that run around. They're like little, he's like servants. They're all over the castle, and they're like little goblins, but they're gargoyles.
Was
It's
it like
weird,
is it like
weird and hilarious.
subspecies?
A little bit bigger than that.
Okay.
They're about sort of knee height. They're a little,
Oh, okay.
you know,
Yeah, yeah. So they're
they're,
big. Yeah. Okay.
they're sort of goblin-y sort of size, I
Uh
guess.
huh.
So they've got him strung up at one point, and he's gonna murder him, and he's like, "No, tell me your life story." So he tells him his life story, right? So he tells him, "Oh, without love, I wandered around, and was couldn't bear to see people like in love and all that sort of stuff." And it's like so full of melancholy and stuff. But then
Yeah.
I decided that I was going to wait for my wife would turn up. She would turn up at some point. So I went to Baghdad, then I went to India, then I went to France, and then I went to Florence, all to make a perfume.
Okay. Sure.
So this perfume is to enchant any woman who smells it. He will be
Why?
irresistible to any woman. Right. So
He's
he's
waiting for his great love to be
yeah.
reincarnated. Why do you need this perfume?
So his idea is that his wife will smell this perfume, and she will remember, and she will know who she is, and she will know who he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. That's a hell of a fucking gamble there, buddy.
Yeah. So he's on
Made a lot of assumptions there, friend.
yeah. He's in this shop on the bridge in Florence,
Yeah.
where the greatest perfumers live, and this guy says, "Hey, here's this perfume for you. It's gonna be it's the best perfume I've ever made, hands down." And he says, "Oh, let's give it a try then." So he's no, no, no. He said, "You should try it outside. Don't try it in here." But he puts it on, and of course, everybody in the room, all the women in the room, suddenly turn to him, right?
So it's
And
no
then
longer that Dracula has this enchanting ability
no,
to kind of right.
no,
It's just a
no,
perfume he's
it's
made.
a perfume. It's a perfume.
Okay. Okay, fine.
And then it basically becomes, I don't know whether you've seen this movie, Perfume, Tale of a Murderer. Have you ever seen that movie?
Yes.
That movie is fucking awesome. I love that movie.
So
That has
it's
got one of the
that with Dracula?
pretty much.
Okay, that's that I must admit, I was not impressed with the first 20 minutes that I saw before I had to leave.
Dude, you get
But
so
I did not expect it to turn into this, I must admit. This I would
he
not have expected that.
he stops the perfume and spreads it over himself, right? And then
Uh-huh.
what happens is you get a montage of him
Orgying.
in different time periods and different costumes, different country dress. So you get like Russian, and you get 1700 stuff, and you get
Sure.
1600 stuff. So and it's him like walking into ballrooms with putting his perfume on in the different outfits, and you get a full-on fucking dance number. It's like a fucking music video, and it's so fucking batshit. I was like, "Oh, I'm in. This is
Okay. I
absolutely
should have
terrible."
I should have watched for 5 minutes more.
Yeah, you needed like 10 more minutes to get to the
Well,
dance scene.
to be clear, I will have watched this fully by the time we get to
Yeah,
our year roundup. But yeah.
it's so ludicrous and I mean it's so beautiful. The costumes are amazing. The sets are amazing, and he's like running around like, and of course he becomes disenchanted with this idea that he goes to uh the court of Louis whatever. He basically says, "Oh, Louis, whoever it was, I go to there," and he goes in, and there's the, he thinks he sees her, and it's not. It's this woman, and she makes a joke about him, and he then decides, you know what, this perfume thing ain't working for me. What I need is agents that I can send around the world looking for her that can find her. So then he proceeds to
Right.
attack every woman in this room.
But hold on. So
Yeah,
this is
he
set.
attacks.
So when he was with her, it
Yeah,
was the not 15th century.
it was the 1400s, and
Okay,
is when it's
1400s. So
yeah,
he's gonna send
yeah.
agents out with a rough fucking sketch of what his wife used to
Oh
look
no,
like.
this at this point we're up to the 1700s. We're up
No, no,
to
no. But he doesn't have a photo of her, of his wife.
he
All
does. So he
he's
does.
got.
He's no. There is a portrait of her from a book.
Okay, so it's a really detailed portrait. This
It's a
like.
very detailed portrait, and it
Okay,
does look
fine.
like her. It's
Okay, fair enough.
yeah. So he does have a sort of a picture of her, sort of thing.
Sure. Okay.
So yeah, he attacks all the women in this place. He basically turns them all, and then he sends them out.
Uh huh.
So the Lucy stand-in, who's not actually Lucy, she's Maria. She's one of these girls
The
that he
girl
turned.
in the asylum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then, of course, um, he's talking to Harker, and Harker says, "Oh, you talk about love and stuff like that." And it's like, you should spare me because I'm in love too. I've got this amazing love. She's the love of my life. Blah 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 blah. And he says, "Oh, have you got a picture of this wife? I'd like to see what she looks like."
I would have been like, no.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I
So of
don't.
course,
After what you've just told me, sir, no. I
yeah.
don't think
So
I do have a picture of her.
of course he does. He shows the picture, and of course, shock horror. Mina looks exactly like Elizabetha. So of course
Wow.
he's renewed now. He's like, "Oh, now I'll go and get
Cut
her."
my
So
hair.
he tells this. It's actually, I think, it's a wig because we do see him without it. And it's a wig.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's an actual wig. Okay, so he
Yeah. So
actually.
there's
Okay.
so
Yeah.
he says, "Oh, I need to go to Paris and find this girl, and she'll gonna be my wife, and all that sort of stuff." Right. So he I'm totally spoiling this, but he then goes to a convent and murders all the nuns in the convent to become young again, to rejuvenate himself, right?
Right.
And he does the perfume thing again. He goes into the convent, says, that he says, "Oh, I'm sick. I'm hungry. Can you please let me in?" Sort of thing. And one of the nuns goes, "Come on in. We'll give you some soup." He puts the perfume on, and all the nuns rush to him in this amazing like song and dance thing. So you get the second music video basically of all these nuns swarming him and swirling around him, and it's like, this movie is fucking crazy. It's absolutely shit and batshit crazy, and I fucking love it.
But it's knowingly, like it knows what it's fucking doing. Clearly, like
I don't know it does. I'm not
really.
convinced.
Okay.
I'm not convinced. I
Wow.
it feels like he's. It doesn't feel like he's winking at us. It feels
Right.
like he's being very serious. Maybe
Okay.
I've
He's
interpreted
just
it
lost
wrong,
his
but
mind.
I think so. So then from there on, you get the certain beats of the Dracula story, not many,
No.
and then it sort of, he courts her, and you get this scene where they're going around a sort of like a circus with freaks and stuff, and it's literally like Luc Besson went, "Hey, there's that movie called Bram Stoker's Dracula, and there's that movie called Perfume. What if we put them together and added a few other bits and pieces?"
Or do you think he's never watched a Dracula movie before?
I don't
And he's
know.
only seen stills from Bram Stoker's Dracula. And he's like,
Maybe.
well, we'll make perfume, but with that guy.
Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
By the time you get to the end,
I mean, now I will be honest. I was going to finish this movie anyway. Now I really want to watch this movie.
like, I think you're going to enjoy it. It is not a good movie.
I knew that, but
I can't seriously recommend it to people as a hey, here's a
but
Dracula
you can
movie.
recommend it to me because you know me well enough.
Well, what I can recommend it is if you want to see a fucking batshit over the top ridiculous Dracula version, this is it. It is just so silly and so over the top and so like there was like weird glimmers of like, oh, this could have actually been quite a good movie because Caleb Landry Jones, he's fully committed. He's not the scariest of Draculas. He's a bit too mopey, but he's fully committed to this role. He's actually really good, to be honest. He's really good at it. Christoph Waltz is just phoning it in. He's like, yeah, I'm playing a bad Van Helsing. Fine, you know. All the other actors, like Zoe Blue, who's playing Elizabetha stroke Mina, she's fine. She's okay. I liked Matilda De Angelis as Maria, but I think that was more because I've always had a thing for Lucy, and I thought she played a pretty good unhinged sort of Lucy type character. The guy who I can't remember who he is. There's a guy who plays the sort of the Dr. Stewart stand-in. He reminded me of the guy who plays. I think he plays Stewart in Dead and Loving It.
Right.
He looks like him, and he acts sometimes like him. It's like, oh, did he get notes from that movie to play that character? It's really weird. By the time you get to the end feels like massively rushed. It's like he convinces her that she's Elizabetha, and they piss off to Romania, and they pass a signpost that says France on one side, Romania on the other, and you're like, really?
Where is this signpost?
Where? I don't remember France having a border with Romania. That was it's a bit weird, but sure. So they go back, and then basically what ensues is there's like a siege.
Or is it a border, or is it just a signpost that points in two different directions? Like Romania's over there and France is over there somewhere.
It could be, but it just feels a bit.
It's a long way away. It's very weird.
It feels very much like they're saying, over in that field is France, over in that field is Romania.
Yeah. Like Gotham in Metropolis. They're
exactly.
Yeah,
they're just two sides across the river.
A bridge. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. So you get this sort of weird rushed ending where suddenly they're in the castle and they're under siege by I think what is actually the Romanian army. I think they use the Romanian army in this movie. There are sort of like weird things with the gargoyles and stuff, and I won't spoil. There's a bit at the end after it's all over and they're like walking away. There's a bit, and I was like, "Oh, okay, that was what they."
Okay,
that was what they were. That's fucking weird. That's a choice.
After I've seen this, I think we need to have a discussion on the
show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I'm going to say something that's probably going to upset you here.
I doubt it.
I liked this movie more than I liked Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Well, that's fair enough.
That movie, much better. Better directed.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Better sets,
I mean,
better acted.
Obviously.
Better almost everything.
But again, if you had more fun.
This movie it's almost hilariously bad.
Again, it's entertainment value, isn't it?
That's I was so entertained. I was so entertained by this movie. There was not really a moment where I was like, oh, this is boring me now. No, this movie just like keeps going and keeps going. And I was like, one absurdity after another, and you're like, it's this movie is like, what are they going to do next? Well, I'm here to see what they're doing next. That's why I'm here.
Well, I mean
It's so weird.
that is a step up because the trailer just made it look like a
Oh
rip-off of
yeah.
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh,
So
and
at
it
least
is.
it wasn't
But
that.
it is. But it is that. It is
Well,
a
it's
rip-off of Bram
not
Stoker's
though.
Dracula. It's a rip-off of Bram Stoker's Dracula and Perfume. It's really
Visually,
weird.
visually it is, but
Yeah.
I mean,
It,
Perfume. I wasn't expecting that.
no, it's so weird. And
Right.
the two sort of dance, the two dance videos that you got in it are just great. It's just the weird thing is he's clearly had that, like the first one where he's using the perfume and he's going through the courts of Europe, sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's a really good like scene. It's really well done. It's just so sort of like, wow, what were their thoughts here? Because they're clearly having an absolute fucking ball. Certainly, Caleb Landry Jones is. He is relishing being this like over the top, guy. Um, we'll say the point is this scary or horrifying, or it's not that movie. It is not. It's not your standard Dracula version. Um, it's it's just bizarre. It's a real sort of curio, and I probably won't watch it again. I might watch bits of it again. Maybe
Well,
mainly those
this was the
the
same
dance
price
scenes.
to buy as it was to rent on
Yeah,
Amazon
that
the
sort
other
of tells
day.
you something, doesn't it?
So I own it forever.
Yeah, that tells you something.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, if we were to have a drink and you were to put it on in the
Well,
background,
that's what I am wondering. Maybe it's a
that would be
drinking
great.
movie. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I can't recommend it to serious horror fans or even
No.
serious Dracula fans. Um, Dracula fans who are happy to watch any version, go ahead. You will get something out of it. You will, even if it's just, you know, I mean, I've seen some fucking terrible versions of
Oh
Dracula. I've
yeah.
seen almost, the one that you keep bringing up, the oh god, with the praying mantis,
Argento's
Argento's
Dracula.
Dracula,
That's
like,
fucking terrible. Yeah.
yeah, awful, truly fucking, and that I don't really think has any redeeming qualities at all. That movie,
None.
this one at least
I
has.
mean, it gave Rutger Hauer some work. I appreciate it for
Well,
that.
that's yeah, exactly. Rutger Hauer got a payday, so I'm always happy for
Yeah. Yeah.
that. And he's not the worst Dracula, really. Not
No,
Dracula. He was
he's Van Helsing.
Van Helsing. I mean,
Yeah.
um,
I don't know if he was called Van Helsing, but he was basically Van Helsing.
yeah. Um, this one at least has got like really, really sumptuous costumes and
Yeah.
some beautiful practical sets for the most part. But it's a movie that I would say, hey, you want to watch something weird and you've got an open mind, give this a go because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
I
Fair
definitely laughed
enough.
more watching this. I laughed more watching this than I did watching that Payday.
Fair enough.
There is a bit that because of the way my stupid brain works. So, and I think it was the way that Christoph Waltz says it, that when he's examining um the Maria, the Lucy stand-in sort of thing, he calls her a, oh, what's the word? It's he. Uh, oh, for fuck's sake! It's the phage. What is it?
I have no idea.
Hema, he's a she's a hemophagus,
Mm,
hemaphagicus or something like that. And my brain just went, oh, he's calling Dracula Mr. Snuffleupagus. And then I couldn't get it out of my head for about 5 minutes, and I was just laughing because
mm.
hematophagus is the word. But the way Christoph Waltz says it just made me think of Mr. Snuffleupagus, and I was just in stitches for about 5 minutes. That's just because that's just because of when my brain's stupid. But yep, I would dude, you have to watch it if no one
I
else
am
does.
gonna watch it. I have every intention. I started watching it. I went out for a walk, every intention of finishing it, and then I was speaking to my friend, and she was like, "I actually kind of want to watch that movie," and I was like, "Well, it looks terrible, but I think it might be more fun with
Yeah,
two people watching it." So
yeah.
sure. So that's why I watched Relay instead. So I
I
am
mean,
gonna watch it. Don't worry.
it was one of those movies where they sort of dropped a few pictures and then they dropped a sort of very brief teaser trailer, and I was like, okay, this could be interesting. And then it was
Mm.
another one of those every subsequent thing that they released was
It
like,
would just
oh
looked
no,
worse. Yeah,
oh
yeah,
this
absolutely.
is just yeah. So yeah,
Oh,
it's
there
an
we
interesting
go.
movie. It's an interesting movie with some interesting things.
So I believe you
Um,
have one more to go. One more
uh,
movie.
yes, so I also saw Honey Don't.
Hmm.
So this,
Which I've not heard anything about this one. So.
yeah, so this is Margaret Qualley
Hmm.
uh, and Audrey Plaza, Chris Evans. Uh, it's got Don Swayze in it, which was like, hey, I haven't seen Don Swayze in anything for years.
Yeah.
Uh, Kristen Connolly, and it's directed by Ethan Cohen. So it's written
Hmm.
by Ethan Cohen, and I think his wife Trisha Cook. So apparently, this is part of he has a planned lesbian trilogy.
Right.
So the first one was Drive Away Dolls, which I haven't seen, but I
Hmm.
haven't heard good things about it. This is
So
the
when you
second
when you
one,
say trilogy, you just
like a loose.
they're not
They're not.
linked.
Yeah, they're not linked. It's just
Right.
they just have lesbian
The theme
characters in.
is lesbian characters. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So this is the second one. He's got a third one to come.
Right.
So this one we're introduced to Honey O'Donoghue, who is a uh, private detective, and at the very beginning, there's a woman dies in a car crash, and the day before she came to see Honey,
Right.
but Honey doesn't know why.
Okay.
So she sort of starts investigating this sort of this death, and it points towards uh, Chris Evans is Reverend Drew Devlin's character, who has runs this church where it's all evangelical, and he's preaching and all that over the top televangelist stuff,
Sure.
and it's kind of but it's a front for him selling drugs basically. So he's got that. So we from there we've got Honey going around, getting information from Aubrey Plaza's character, who works. She's a policeman, but she's on like the evidence desk, and they sort of have a thing together. And she's got a sister who has lots of kids, and the sister's one of the sister's daughters, one of her nieces, uh, is just reached womanhood, and she's got a job in there's a hot dog place. So there's all these like little bits and pieces that are sort of woven through, and it sort of feels very much like it's a neo noir. So you've got very much feels like you've got the noir dialogue. You got her fast talking, sort of like it's like he asks her, "Do you drink?" And she says, "Yeah, principle." She's very serious about her drinking and all that. So you
Yeah.
get this wonderful dialogue throughout the movie, which is really good, and it does have this sort of there's this over prevailing feel of desolation and sort of misery, and they should there's a lot of going around LA and just seeing how much of LA is just empty nothing and
Mm.
empty just closed shops and closed buildings, and it does not make LA look pretty at all. It just makes it like an absolute shithole,
Sure.
and it's really playing on that. Um, so basically, we get this sort of these interconnecting things. You get she gets a client come to her who wants who he says his boyfriend is cheating on him. He thinks his boyfriend's cheating on him, and she says, "Look, we both know he's cheating on you. If you think that, then he is. You should just confront him. Don't pay me to know what you want, and he's like, no, I want to know. I want to rub it in his face. It's like, okay, fine. So that becomes something else because you've got the boyfriend, he gets killed in a sort of a sort of drug deal gone wrong sort of thing.
Right.
So there's this all these things that sort of weave along. Um, but it sort of feels a little like elements of something like the Big Lebowski. It's got that sort of fast talking sort of mystery stuff going on. Um,
Sure.
what this movie doesn't have is a cohesive thing. It sort of meanders. It goes on. It starts off really strong, and you're like, you're introduced to Honey, and she's really cool. She's a really nice character, but sort of things just sort of fall away. Like okay, that now you've got this story going on. What's happening now? It was a bit sort of weird. It felt a bit unfocused at times,
Mm.
and then it sort of we're in um something like the Big Lebowski. They're fuck ups. You know,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
shouldn't be doing. They've fallen into a situation
Yeah, that's
that's
the
that's
joke.
beyond
Yeah.
them, exactly, and it's funny because of that.
And it keeps escalating and they keep falling into yeah.
Yeah, this feels kinda like that, but you don't have the benefit of them just being slackers, or she's
Mm.
supposed to be a professional detective, but she keeps falling into these sort of things, and you're like, okay," but it's not even like she's doing her best or anything. It's really weird. Um, I kind of liked it. It's a sort of a nice enough movie, and mainly because of the performances from Margaret Qualley and Aubrey Plaza. But by the time you get to the end, I was a bit like, that could have been so much better. It almost felt like he gave up halfway through and
Mm.
didn't really have a plan for how all these things were going to come together, and even what their purpose was. Like the sort of the overall plot of this sort of thing with the church and that sort of gets resolved, and you're like, okay, is is
Mm.
that it? What why am I? You get this sort of feeling. I think I certainly did. Come the end, that it was a sort of, what did I just watch? What what was the, there are lots of pointless movies that movies that don't really have points or anything or plots, and you can sort of enjoy them. But this one at the end, I sort of I felt cheated. I felt like there was a big build up, and it felt like it was going somewhere, and it was going to be a really interesting case,
Mm.
and then it just sort of ends.
Right.
Oh, and it sort of goes off on this other tangent, and you're like, oh, weird, really weird. I'm not sure I could recommend it. It's certainly of the Cohen movies. It's one of the worst I've seen. I mean, that's, even saying that, it's still a well made movie. It's it's got this ugly charm in its sort of like, sprawling fields of nothing and rundown buildings. And the performances are all really good, but it's just really underwhelming come the end. It's like, oh, it's just a
Mm.
real weird letdown from what it's from the big from this really nice sort of
Strong open.
fast,
Yeah.
yeah, this real fast talking um beginning. It sort of just sort of falls flat, and it was a very disappointing ending. And but it sort of kind of feels like it ends, and then it's kind of like he feels like he's gone, well, I did this before and people really liked it, so here you go, here it is again, but with different characters and different situations,
Mm.
sort of there, and you're like, but no, you didn't have the same build up or the same characters as you had in those other movies. This is just a weird letdown. And the biggest thing for me is this could have been a really good movie. It could have been, there are some nice scenes in it, but it's by the end, it was just, nah, Very,
Yeah.
very disappointing.
It's almost. I always think it's infinitely more disappointing when a movie has all of the potential and fails
Yeah,
than a
yeah,
straight up bad movie. You know.
mm. Yeah, because it's not a bad movie.
Yeah.
It's like,
But it
um,
could have been something really
yeah,
special.
Chris Evans is
Yeah.
great as the awful preacher who's just basically, you know, shagging his community, his communion, and all that sort of stuff, and it's just awful, sort of bungling, sort of lackeys who just everything goes wrong for, and it just sort of feels like he similar beats to his to other Cohen movies that are better
Yeah.
and just felt more coherent. So again, I can't really recommend this. I could recommend it on its performances, but as an overall movie, it's really lacking, and it's just a bit of a shame that it could have been so
Yeah.
much better.
Oh well. Yeah. Maybe the third in the trilogy will be
Yeah, maybe it
better.
was. I haven't seen Drive Away Dolls yet, but maybe I'll watch that. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll think
Maybe.
more of that one. But
Yeah.
yeah, this was a bit of a disappointment.
Well, that is it for the movies. I don't think we've got very much news. Do we have any news?
Only sad ones. So
Yes.
we've got Gil Gerard, who, who
Oh,
we were
Buck.
literally talking about like the day before.
We
We were,
cursed
talk-
it.
we were talking about
We're talking about Buck
Buck
Rogers, weren't we?
Rogers
Yeah, we were.
and those
And it was
80s
literally like a
heroes.
day later. I swear it was a day
Yeah,
later.
it was.
Which
So
presumably might have meant he died the time we said we were talking
probably,
about
yeah.
it. But
Um,
I mean, you know, I adore Buck Rogers, the show.
mhm, yeah,
Certainly season 1 is fantastic. Season 2 is
yeah,
not very good, but you get
isn't bad.
Hawk, and it's worth
Yeah,
it for Hawk.
yeah.
And Wilma obviously, but
Well, even though she gets really reduced in
yeah,
that second,
she gets reduced, yeah.
and she looks like an air stewardess.
But we do get Hawk, and I still think that Hawk's ship is still the coolest fucking thing in the
It's
world.
fucking cool.
I will defend that till the day I
It's
die. I'll be on my
it's
deathbed defending
yeah,
Hawk's ship as one of the
it's
coolest ships
completely
ever.
impractical, but it's awesome.
It's fucking ridiculous, but I love it.
Yeah,
But no, I love Buck Rogers. I will confess I haven't seen Gil Gerard in much else.
I think I saw him in the odd bit part in places, but
Yeah,
yeah, no,
bit parts
honestly,
mostly.
no. I mean, it looks
But I
like he had
loved
a
his
sort of
performance.
relatively good career overall, but
Oh, good.
yeah,
I'm glad. Yeah.
and then sadly Bridget Bardot.
Yes. Who was she? Was like 90 odd, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Hell of a talent. I mean, not just an actress, musician as well, right? I
yep,
believe. No, I've never
yep.
listened to her music,
Yeah,
but I believe she's also a musician.
she released a number of albums, I think, in the 70s and 80s, which
Yeah.
again
Yeah.
I hadn't heard either.
No, only when she passed that I learned that. So
Yeah,
yeah, always just thought she was a great
yeah.
actress. I'd never
She
known.
retired. I think she retired in this from acting. I
70s?
think in the 70s. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Uh,
she was one of those, those um actresses that were part of that European sort of 50s, um the sexy girl movies, basically,
yeah,
that
yeah,
were challenging 50s attitudes.
yeah. Absolutely.
The part of that European sort of movement that was, you know so much uh more than what the Americans could get away with, with
Yeah,
showing and having more interesting female characters than a lot of the Americans could do
yeah,
at the time. Um, to be fair, um, the only movie of hers that I know and like, um, you know, because
yeah.
I can't say I was ever a big fan or anything, was Shalako,
With
and
Connery.
that was really only because it was a Connery movie. That was what I know.
Yeah.
I know. So
It's the one I remember the most. I've seen a few, I'm sure, but
I have,
that's the
but
one I remember.
I know I've seen them, but I can't
Yeah.
say.
Well, it's funny because my friend messaged me about it. Well, presumably when it just after it got announced.
Mm,
Um, and I was like, yeah, she's like huge talent, but like it's been so long since I've watched any of her movies. And that
yeah,
was the one that stuck out to me. It'd be interesting to go back and rewatch them.
I mean, she was
bunch of them.
more of a sort of a presence. It was more of that sort of
Yeah,
the posters of her, and you know that sort of presence that she had in popular culture that I'm more aware of than her movies, which is, you
yeah.
know, maybe I should do something about. But you know, she was certainly, you know, groundbreaking in the movies that she chose early.
Oh, absolutely.
So
So,
yeah,
yeah. Any
and
other depressing news?
no, that's basically it. I
Well,
think.
what do you want to do next week? Do you want to do another movie, or do we do our end
So
of year wrap up?
we'll do our top fives.
All right. I need to. I've got a few more movies to cram, including Dracula.
Hmm. Oh well,
I
that's
don't.
not. There's no
I
way
was gonna
that's going
say
to be
no.
top five,
No, but I will watch it before
but
then.
it's certainly something.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, until then, stay safe, take care, and we will catch you next time.